Do you think the government should protect all peaceful citizens against people that want to use physical force to extract money from them?
I think we have a police force, and that would be a function of a police force to intervene in those sorts of situations. I think probably it gets more complicated when you talk about forcibly removing money. Maybe you can do that over the internet with scams or credit card scams, and then I think it becomes a little more subtle the way the government tends to protect us.
Could you explain to our viewers why it's important for the government to prevent people from forcefully extracting money from others?
Because if the government didn't do it, I think citizens would take that road into their own hands, and we would, I think in the worst possible instance, we would have a vigilante society. And the best possible, citizens would probably organize themselves and produce a police force. So I mean, I think a police force orchestrated by a government at the local level is the appropriate response.
Can you live well in a society where other people can legally gang up on you and forcefully extract money from you?
I don't think so. I had never quite thought about that, unless I get the feeling these might be trick questions that you're leading up to some sort of organized scam.
You think they're trick questions? Why do you think that?
Because it just seems like an unusual line of question.
But I'm trying to identify what you think are the fundamentals, the reasoning that makes it morally wrong for one group of people to extract money forcefully from another.
I don't think that requires a whole lot of reasoning.
Okay, but it's a pretty obvious fact to you, right?
Yes, it's very obvious to me.
Should the government redistribute its citizens' wealth by forcefully taking money from some citizens through taxation in order to provide goods and services for others?
I believe that a group of citizens comes together and contributing money for the common good is taxation. I wouldn't refer to it in the terms that you were using, which to me seems to reflect a bias on your part.
So you think that the government doesn't redistribute wealth?
I think the government extracts via taxes contributions from various people, and people who make more money contribute more. I call that a progressive tax system. I think that's appropriate.
So you think that the government should do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. But previously, when I had asked you whether the government should prevent people from forcefully extracting money from others, you said that it should. Don't you see that there seems to be a contradiction between those two positions?
No, I don't think it's a contradiction.
Okay.
I think the first instance I would think of is robbery and individuals taking money for their own benefit, and I think when you organize a community, that taxation is an appropriate function in that community. Is this some sort of a libertarian site? I feel like you are pushing a particular ideology.
I'm trying to investigate your thinking on the subject. It's just asking you some simple questions, and I want to see if I understand your position.
I think I've explained it. I'd rather not continue to go over that.
Well, I just want to ask you this to make sure that I understand.
I think you understand.
Well, can I tell you what I think you've said, and then you can tell me if I'm right or wrong?
You're trying to set up a situation here where you're trying to lead me down a path where I'm going to think that I'm going to equate taxation with armed robbery on the corner.